Anyone else have any ideas for that introduction? Don't need
We could just say like everything versus
Just
everything.
make it really awkward and then use that to introduce the fact that's the topic. Well, the topic comes later though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You could say like what are you listening to, and then we respond everything versus everything.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna do that.
Like a sort of 90s kids show.
Yeah. What are you listening to?
Everything versus everything.
That was a
Yeah.
great little skit at the beginning there where I pretended to be... I was trying to be like an old man, like questioning what the kids are listening to.
Exactly.
That
Which
works
is
well.
this, obviously.
Yeah.
Of course.
Everything versus everything, that is.
Yeah.
Which is our podcast about everything, where we try and rank everything in the world in order from best to worst. And we've got 7 things on the list at the moment. We made a good start last time.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to add some more stuff today, and that will be exciting.
Yay.
Ooh. We've got the same people here again, for some bizarre reason. And those people are me, Alex. Woo!
And me, Ewan. Woohoo!
And me, James. Whoa.
Okay, so our first segment is called Bring a Thing.
Bring a thing.
This is where everyone here brings a thing, and it can be anything that they want, and then we decide where to place it on our list of things. So, who's going to go first? Anyone in the mood to go first?
I'll go first. And I probably have the least to talk about this thing, but I brought a compass to guide us forward in this
Compass?
conversation.
Oh, that would be useful.
That's right.
So, a compass as in...
It's a compass in terms of like the instrument used to sort of guide yourself navigationally.
It tells you where north is.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. The
It's
one
not
with
the one that you used to stab someone with in primary school or high school.
yeah, no, it's not the mathematical compass that
God.
you'd never really use in real life.
Close my eyes and think of my maths class if I can still hear the compasses whistling through the air when the teacher was out of the room.
Oh, God.
Do you classes used to throw them at each other or
Oh
something?
yeah,
Jeez.
We went to...
this was the
horrible
top
high
maths
school.
class as well.
Anyway.
Math is serious business over there.
We can get round to our high school at some other time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That might be the thing that finally
Beats Piers
beats
Morgan.
Piers Morgan to the bottom of the list. But we'll see. So let's talk about compasses then. I think
Yeah.
they're very clever, aren't they?
They are.
They're really useful. I don't know how long they've been around for, but probably a long time.
I'm guessing a long
so-
time.
There also can be like, so you see some like the old sort of compasses. They're beautiful, sort of very like can make really artistic.
Very ornate.
Yes.
There's also one of my favourite books ever is Northern Lights, which has a golden compass in it. That's
It's
positive.
also known as the Golden Compass in some territories of
Yes.
the world.
some territories.
Although it's
small
technically not a
territories.
compass. Although you
No.
could possibly use it as one. You could probably ask it what way is north.
Yeah, that's
What way
right.
straight from the point.
It's an
Yeah.
extremely
It's like a
useful
It's
compass.
a compass of truth.
It's like a smart
Yeah.
compass.
Yeah,
A lithiometer, it's called.
Yes.
Compass Plus.
But we're not really talking about that.
No.
We're talking
No,
about
not
a
yet.
normal everyday compass.
Yeah.
Which are still cool, and they're one of those things that you sort of think it shouldn't really work. It's a bit like it's a bit magic, really, isn't it? Like you look at one, and you're like, it's
Well, you think
actually the planet we're on is actually magnetic.
yeah, I guess it's obviously such a weak magnetic field over that sort of distance, and yet it still can
Effective.
influence a compass needle more
Yeah,
than
it's
magnets
just
that are much
insane.
closer by.
Yeah,
Yeah, like the fact that it doesn't get interference unless you put like a magnet right
next to it.
next
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
So compasses, they're great.
They are great.
I don't think they do anything bad, really.
No, unless you're like trying to hide from someone who's using a compass to track you.
Maybe.
But then, yeah, it's all-
Magnetic Man. You'd be
it's
hunting
all
Magnetic Man.
Circumstantial. Yeah, that's true.
If they were like a sort of a villain, Magnetic Man, sort of you'd use
Magneto.
that.
Could you use it to track Magneto? from
Maybe
X-Men?
if you didn't know what was going on, But if you figured out that you were using a compass to find him, then maybe there's probably an episode of X-Men that they did use a compass.
Oh, that'd be good. That's a good idea.
But like
Take that, Marvel, if you're listening.
Yeah, that one's for free.
Yeah.
Actually, no, they're rich. They're pay us, please.
Yes.
I don't think there's much cons for compasses. They're pretty handy.
That's
I think
true.
Yeah.
a lot of the reason how people like expanded out into sort of discovering places, compasses have a lot to be involved in that.
Yeah.
The last time I used a compass was soon after I started work. I used a compass to find my way out of the building I work in.
Really?
Seriously.
Wow.
I had one on my keyring, and I was wondering, it's a very confusing building. It's notorious for it. At one time, it was the biggest academic building in Europe, I think, when it was first built, and all the corridors look the same pretty much. So it was really confusing to find your way out. And I was just wandering around the ground floor, thinking, where the hell's the door? And then I remember someone said it was the north door, so I got my compass out.
North door.
I looked at what direction north was, I followed the corridor that way, and I found the door.
Wow.
So they were amazing
So
things.
that you can confirm that they work from
They
personal
work.
experience.
Even indoors they can
They're not just
sometimes
some
be
big
useful.
scam. Sometimes you don't know with things.
No, it's
A lot of things we haven't tested ourselves.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Scientists could just be lying. But yeah, compasses.
Yeah, and they
Pretty good.
As you said, James, they help you if you're lost. That's one of their purposes.
So
to make sure you're not
Ewan,
lost.
where would you place this on our current list? do
I
you
don't
think?
know. It's a tough one.
It's pretty high up, I would say.
I would say
probably.
so. I'd say definitely above porridge.
Compass over porridge.
Compasses over
That's
porridge.
probably right, to be honest. I mean, a compass could save your life in the right situation.
Porridge could as
That's
well.
true,
Like
actually.
you
Yes,
could if you were starving.
but I think you don't have to clean the compass off the pot afterwards.
Yes, exactly.
They're both probably things that would be in a hill walker's like arsenal.
Yes,
I would say.
Yeah.
probably.
Definitely, like if you're an outdoorsy person,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
want a compass.
Would you put the compass above Switzerland?
Ooh, it's a bit tough. It's
That is
again,
tough.
we're knocking heads of like things that are better than countries and cities.
I know. I mean, we're
But
gonna
we
have
have
to
to- we
face
have to.
this head on at some point. We're gonna have to be like,
I
Damn
feel
it.
like could potentially have more use from a compass in Switzerland potentially in my life. Maybe? Am I
Yeah.
being a bit
No,
daring there?
that's fine. I mean, we're gonna have to answer. We have to.
I
face
like
these questions.
compasses more than Switzerland. I might. Yeah, I think a compass is better than Switzerland.
Yeah, just say it. Yeah,
It's
say
okay,
it.
I'll say it. Damn it. A compass is better than Switzerland.
Okay, James, what's your feeling on that?
I'm fairly ambivalent about whether
Okay,
it's better
I
than
can
Switzerland. It's
see-
definitely not better than Berlin, though, in my
Okay.
opinion.
Okay, I can see the argument for it being better than Switzerland, and I feel like we're going to have to bite the bullet. And if we're going to say that some inanimate object is better than a country of 8 million people, compass is a pretty good one to choose because it has been very useful historically, and
Yes.
it's kind of a key part of our development as a species, probably.
Yeah.
You
As a
might
as
say.
humanity.
So yes.
Yeah, let's put it above Switzerland and below Berlin, unless you're determined
Okay.
it should go above Berlin as well.
Ooh, that's maybe a battle for another day.
Yeah, I think between under Berlin, above Switzerland.
Yeah.
Okay.
So compass is now the second best thing in the world. Yeah.
Yay.
Yeah.
Good on you, compass. Knew you could do it. Who's up next? Do you want to go next, James?
I
or
can
shall
go next, yes.
Go on.
My thing for today is the third Harry Potter book. Specifically, this is Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban by J.K. Rowling.
Is it your favourite Harry Potter book?
No, I don't think so. I picked it more as a sort of random thing plucked out of the air
Okay,
than
fair
as
enough.
something I
I mean, we have
particularly
to
love.
deal with it at some point.
It may be my favourite Harry Potter film, actually, but it's
but
but we're not discussing
yeah,
the
we're
film
focusing
today.
on-
This is the book we're focusing
Yeah.
on, and I do think it's pretty good. I think I appreciate it more now than I did. It's grown on me over the years. Like when I first read through them, I think I probably preferred 2 and 4 to 3 when I originally read the first 4. But I think 3 has a lot of good things about it. I think it has a very coherent plot and a very interesting plot with interesting revelations and so on and twists towards the end. So
Yes.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I would say about the third one, I like it a lot too, but I like all of them a lot. It's the first one that feels like at the end of it, it's not the end of a story, it's it's going to continue after that.
Yes. Yes.
The first two are sort of self-contained. The
Yes.
third one is the first one where you're like, oh, she's just gonna leave it, and it's gonna be building to something else.
Yeah.
It's also, I think, quite a bit darker than the
Yeah,
first two.
the other two had like a nice sort of ending at the end. Everything was like sorted out, and the good guys won.
Yes, exactly.
Number 3 didn't.
Yeah, well, I shouldn't spoil it too much, probably, just in case there are people out there who haven't read it, because that's perfectly understandable. And you should read Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter.
There's someone sitting there listening, thinking, "Okay, if they rank it above porridge, I'll give it a chance."
Yeah, that's
Ooh,
true. Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, I think Prisoner of Azkaban is definitely up there for me as well. I think Goblet of Fire is probably my favourite. But yeah, I think Prisoner of Azkaban is a really good
I
one.
think about it, I don't actually know which my favourite is.
Well, we
I'm
don't
not
have to
really
decide
sure.
that.
Doesn't
We only have
matter.
to
No, we don't
decide where the Prisoner of Azkaban goes compared to these things.
Yes.
As the person who brought it, where would your gut say it should go?
Probably somewhere around here, I would say.
So you're saying
Maybe
around porridge?
Around porridge.
Porridge.
Sort of tentatively like
Around
pointing above porridge,
Nancy and
maybe.
Switzerland, maybe.
You wouldn't put it above Switzerland.
I'm not sure. It's not really. I would feel a bit bad putting that above Switzerland because I don't think it hasn't really had the influence on the development of humanity that the compass possibly has. It would save your life in any conceivable emergency that I can think of.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. And I really like it. I think it's a very good book, but I don't think it's probably like a groundbreaking, world-changing book.
There are Harry
Potter
Potter books that I would put above Switzerland, but this might not be the one for me.
Okay.
But I still like it a lot.
Is it better than porridge?
I think possibly.
I think it's
'Cause-
probably better than porridge.
Because you're thinking, like, my only argument would be, what's better for you? The Prisoner of Azkaban or porridge?
Yeah, I mean, The Prisoner of Azkaban has some good moral lessons in it and some good brain food, I guess.
I'd say so. Yeah.
Obviously, we can't judge everything on whether it like makes you healthy or not.
No, but it's a factor.
It is, yeah.
And like porridge in the long
Factor
run,
on many.
you could probably have more uses for it. Like, oh, not more uses, but like
yeah,
it would be
you're
good for
right,
you
you're
overall. While Prisoner of Azkaban, you've kind of read it like maybe a couple of times. I mean, it could be your favorite book, and like you're always going back to it. But for a lot of people, like they'll read it like once or twice at the most, and that'll be it.
That's true.
That's true.
I'm just like giving a wider context. So.
You've spent more time in your life eating porridge or reading The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Tricky.
That's actually tricky because I've only read The Prisoner of Azkaban maybe 3 times, but at the same time, it takes a lot longer to read The Prisoner of Azkaban than it does to eat a bowl of porridge like once.
That's
But
not
of
really,
all
it's
of
not
them,
really the question we're asking. That's just an interesting thing to think about.
Yeah, it is.
Sure.
And now I'm wondering whether I've spent more time in Berlin than I've spent doing either and other things like that, which is really
Do you ever wish that when you die as like an afterlife fancy, you get like a big massive list of statistics about your life?
That'd be kind of
Like,
cool.
that'd be cool. A little fact sheet.
Like at the end of a game, some certain games you get like just enemies killed 51 blah blah blah. But like
I think it could be very depressing as well in some aspects.
I guess
if it's a nice afterlife, they might make it more positive and
Yeah, I
silly.
suppose.
So.
yeah. Anyway,
Well,
so
look. How about this? If you had to choose between 2 things I take away, either porridge or Prisoner of Azkaban
from the world,
from the world, which one would you be more up for me taking away from you?
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to say. I feel like I would probably have to put porridge higher if it came to that.
if
Interesting.
you take away the third Harry Potter book, the rest of the series
Falls
falls
apart.
apart.
That's true. Serious.
Or what if let's say that you replace the third book with a sort of not that good Harry Potter book. Just like it fills the gap, but it's just a bit disappointing.
Yeah.
You replace porridge with ready brick.
Exactly.
Okay.
I don't know
I
then.
I feel like we're leaning toward porridge going above.
Okay,
Harry
I
Potter.
think let's.
But it goes
do
above
that.
Nessie.
I
think it goes.
I think so. Yes.
Okay, I'll let you. I think I've influenced enough by sort of. I kind of actually was going to say it was going to be above porridge, but okay, fair enough.
Really?
No, I think you got it right there.
Okay.
Okay.
You can have that fight about another Harry Potter book later. I'm gonna bring one soon.
Yeah.
Yay, we got there.
Anyway, right. My thing is also a book, actually. I didn't really think this
Whoa.
through. But my book is 1984 by
Aha.
George Orwell. which every few years it seems like, oh, now it's getting relevant. But it's been seeming like that for a very long time, and now it seems more relevant than ever. It's a dystopian, if you don't know, it's a dystopian book about totalitarian government that watches every move that you make and demands total orthodoxy, not just in what you do but what you think and what you say. And they have ways of basically not really sci-fi, but they can basically read your mind just by watching you all the time and working out that you're not happy, and if you're not happy they'll be annoyed with you because you should be happy because the party is glorious and Big Brother is amazing and all this stuff. But yeah, it just deals with a lot of very, very pertinent things and a system of government that isn't working in the best interests of the people. And I've done a dissertation on it, so I have a sort of vested interest in it. I've read it quite a lot of times, and I know people who don't like it. I know that it's not universally loved by everyone because as a story it's got its faults, and some of the characters are a bit odd and a bit off maybe. But I just think thematically, especially considering when it was written, it has had a massive influence on everything that came after it, and it changed the way that I think about things. It gives you a vocabulary for thinking about politics in a different way. There's a lot of words in it that are in concepts that are just very, very much applicable to everyday life and the things that you see in the news and everything. Doublethink is a good example because that's when you hold two conflicting beliefs, but you are able to somehow overlook the fact that they conflict. And you just see that all the time, especially with certain sort of sections of the population who might vote for someone who is very clearly against their interests, but somehow believe that he isn't, or he or she, let's be honest, isn't. Yeah, so it's just a very prescient, very, very dark book.
Yeah.
It's not a fun read, but it's very important, I believe.
I think you're right. I would agree with your last summing up. It's not something I've found a particularly enjoyable read. I have read it twice over the years, and I'd find it really hard to know how to place this one, because if you're looking for, like I said about the third Harry Potter book, I wouldn't say it was, what did I say? It was something like, this wasn't like a world-changing book, whereas I think 1984 was more of a world-changing book.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've unfortunately not read it yet. It's one of those things on my list of books to read kind of thing.
I'm ashamed of reading.
But I have read Orwell before, and I do actually love his kind of writing style to a certain extent. But I do know 1984 in the sort of the wider sort of culture and the effect and sort of pop culture and everything that it's had. And to be honest, I mean, I feel I've got an idea of where I'd want to put it, but of course you brought it, so you obviously get to decide first of where you want to put it.
I want to know where you would put it, but I would put it very high up. Maybe not. I don't know. I feel weird about putting it at the top because the City of Berlin is pretty good, and this is just it's a bit depressing. That's the thing. Yeah, I don't want to put something so depressing and bleak. It's one of the bleakest books I've read, and some of my dissertation did sort of. I tried to find a bit of hope in it, which was very difficult, but I managed to find slivers here and there that suggest that maybe things aren't as hopeless as they seem. But as a warning, it's very good, and I feel like I should put it high up, maybe above Switzerland, under Compass, maybe.
I would put it at the top.
Really,
to be honest. Yeah, I think its importance in the world and its importance as a warning actually beats Berlin, I think.
I think it depends on what sort of view you take, I suppose, because I agree it is incredibly important as a warning and as a work of literature. But I think it has its negatives in that it's depressing. Like I said, it's very depressing, and I think it's not an enjoyable thing to read, really. At least it wasn't for me. And it has its flaws as well, like Alex was saying. So I suppose it depends on which dimension you want to rate it, I suppose.
It's also funny because I'm going from the point of view of someone who's not actually read it, but as someone who is aware of it, it's like what its meaning is a dystopian warning kind of thing. And I guess if you guys have read it, you've got more experience over how bleak it is or depressing it is and that kind of stuff. But at the same time, I know if someone was to ask me, say for Berlin, whether Berlin existed or whether 1984 existed, I think 1984 takes precedent to a certain extent.
Whoa.
And that sounds a bit dark in itself.
It does, yeah.
Berlin has its share of political lessons it could teach as well.
You've got a point there. And I guess I'm thinking as Berlin as it is now, I guess. But its whole context as well as a thing. But I think you could also, a few other cities could also take that thing in history as well.
I think
Berlin, I think, is actually a really lovely, really nice city to visit and all that. But I do think 1984 is really important.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of don't want to put it at the top, so I might put it below Berlin.
Okay.
Because,
I would go along with that.
mean,
although I'm worried I'm going to be responsible for something that no one ever wants to put something above.
there are things I think we could put above.
I think
Berlin,
there are even
but-
things I would put above Berlin. I
And
just
this
don't
is-
think we've come to any
This
yet.
is one of 1984. I sort of describe it like it's probably one of the best books that I've ever read, but I don't think it's one of my favorite books because it's just it's too dark.
I agree
to be
with that.
One
I
of my
think-
favorites.
It must have taken some genius to imagine something like that when it hadn't ever been
I
written
mean,
about before.
It was sort of
That's the thing.
kind of a bit based on Soviet Russia, I think,
Yeah.
in the same way that Animal Farm was.
Yep.
But like 1984 is more broad, and I think it's more universally applicable to various other horrible political situations.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm inclined to put it under Berlin, just because Berlin is sort of a fun, like you said, it's sort of inspiring. I think you said that in the last
I
episode.
guess that's right.
Sort of like this. There's hope in Berlin for the
Yeah,
world.
it's been in a 1984 situation,
Yeah.
and it's come out of it and
Yes.
been better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that is a hopeful message, I guess.
Yes.
So unless you object very strongly, I might.
I do object a bit, but I can understand your point
I
of
think
view.
I agree with you, Alex.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Majority wins
Yeah.
always.
Cool. There we go.
Okay.
Under Berlin, above Compass. So that's the end of Bring a Thing. We brought our things. We've
Okay.
put them on the table. And next up, we have a section that we haven't had before, which I like to call
Oh.
Head to Head.
Ooh.
Doodly 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 doo. I might have an actual jingle for it, I don't know. In this one, we have two age-old rival things that we try and pit against each other and try and decide which one wins. I brought them this time. And the two things are Coca-Cola and having good teeth. So,
yes.
this is something that I've been thinking about recently because I went to the dentist fairly recently and basically got a lecture. And I'm not blaming the dentist for this because it's what they're supposed to do, but like, I confessed to drinking fizzy drinks, and basically the dentist said, you shouldn't do that, like, ever. Like, you should never drink fizzy drinks. It just makes you start questioning things, and like, I really, really like fizzy drinks, and I like having good teeth as well, but is it that important to have good teeth compared to the pleasure that you get? Well, in the end, what is the point of living life? Not to like make this
Have
a very
pristine teeth at the end of your life.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Not to make this like a massively profound philosophical question or anything, but it kind of is. It's like, is a good life just one where you preserve your teeth as well as possible while not enjoying yourself at all?
Now, I think I may be going off at a tangent here, but I think there's a third way in this particular question.
Oh wow,
All
this
right.
could be
Because I
complicated.
also drink a lot of fizzy drinks. Oh, and I used to drink a lot of fizzy drinks. I used to have a lot of problems with my teeth and have to get fillings done and stuff every time I went to the dentist. But now, I still drink a lot of fizzy drinks. But I started cleaning my teeth twice a day, every day, or almost every day, and since then I haven't really had problems with them at all.
Okay, that's
So-
interesting.
I feel like it's a false dichotomy in a way. I mean, I wouldn't say my teeth were perfect. I've still had the occasional thing wrong, and they're probably like more stained by coke and stuff than they could be. But I don't think it's necessarily something you should never do. Drink fizzy drinks.
Yeah, it's just the fact that the dentist presents that as the choice.
And to be honest, I've had personally, even if that wasn't the case, I think I would still go with fizzy drinks because I just enjoy them so much. And teeth can be repaired if necessary. You know, I've had my teeth repaired. It's not fun, but it can be done, and it's not like the end of the world.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of pleasure from drinking fizzy drinks that probably, outweighs that. And people have false teeth. Like, I'm not saying that's the ideal, but even if your teeth like rotted away completely, you could still live a pretty full life
you're
with
not
false
just
teeth.
dead. You're not, it's like I need to eat this to sustain myself. I can't get through it. Nah.
Exactly.
And then you die of
So
starvation.
that would be my thoughts on it. Would
That's
be
why we needed teeth back in the day, I guess.
definitely fizzy drinks.
Oh, and it's Coca-Cola specifically that I brought.
Yeah.
So
I
maybe
understand
not as
that.
broad as
Coca-Cola, but no, I like Coca-Cola.
I'm on team good teeth.
Okay.
I feel like I've had a lot of agonizing fillings in the past, and if it meant never drank Coca-Cola ever, I would have probably never drank Coca-Cola
Interesting.
to stop that agony from happening. It's one of my actual sort of fears is sort of like teeth damage or that kind of thing. It's a weird thing for me, but yeah, I do sort of like, I have avoided the dentist in the past because of worries about my teeth, so it's an interesting thing. And yeah, if it was either Coca-Cola or good teeth. Here's the thing, I would have rather had lived in a world in which Coca-Cola and fizzy drinks never existed to begin with. I never knew it.
Know what you can't have. Yeah.
And to be honest, like, and I think I would have had a load of stuff I would be able to eat and enjoy that I probably would have still had without fizzy drinks. And to be honest, I drank lots of fizzy drinks when I was a kid and teenager, and don't now. I've switched that to coffee and alcohol.
You're a stronger person than me. Like I love Coca-Cola so much.
The issue I have as well is that I'm in an odd situation where I really need caffeine to get me going in the morning, but the amount of caffeine in an ordinary cup of coffee is too much and interferes with my sleep and my general mood and stuff. So the easiest way to get it is an Iron Brew or a Lucozade or a Coke, because they all have a bit of caffeine in, but nowhere near as much as coffee. So I'm kind of always addicted to them in a sense.
I always find when I'm drinking Coca-Cola, I feel guilty afterwards. I'm like, oh god, it's just taking a couple of years off my teeth.
It does sort of make me feel guilty. And like, the guilt was so bad that when I told her how much I drank, and I lied because she basically cornered me. I said I didn't drink that much, because I said, oh, I did drink fizzy drinks, and she was like, how much? And I was like, oh, not very much. And then she's like, no, actually, how much?
That's how they get you.
So I was like, so I just like toned it down to like 2 cans a day, which is, she said, is too much. And actually, I have days when I drink a whole 2-liter bottle, which is the equivalent of 6 cans. So I'm pretty bad about it. I think I'm addicted to Coca-Cola and just to fizzy drinks in general. And to be honest, like, that's not a good thing.
Yeah.
That's not something that I should be like, I'm going to put this high on the list because I'm addicted to it. I can't stop drinking.
I kind of was getting down not very cheerful territory here, but to be honest, I don't really... When I drink fizzy drinks, I do feel a bit guilty, but it's not so much about my teeth, because I know they can always be patched up or replaced if the worst comes to the worst. It's more about making myself diabetic or something like that.
There's also that.
I constantly worry about that.
Yeah.
Coca-Cola as a corporation have done some bad things in the past as well.
That's also true.
Yeah.
Well, teeth haven't really. Healthy teeth have not.
Yeah, that's true. And I do hate having toothache. Toothache is like the worst pain. Well, I've had
that's
anyway.
true.
I mean, I'm sure there's worse pains out there, but the nights that I've been unable to sleep due to pain have been all toothache. So
toothache does seem to be disproportionately bad.
It is.
For
and like,
what it is.
why? Because like, teeth aren't even that important. You spend so much time in your life looking after your teeth compared to the rest of your body. At least I do. Because my body's like an abomination, but it's ridiculous, the disproportionateness around that, though. Like, the amount of time I spend looking after my teeth and none on the rest of my...
Well, if you didn't eat any sugary stuff, you wouldn't have to as much.
True.
But then your point about, like, what is life if there's no pleasures?
There are other pleasures, though. I think
teeth, like, do a lot for us.
You know, I came into this all like Coca-Cola.
Pro-Coke?
Like, just being a rebel, being like, I'm just going to drink as much Coke as I want, damn it. And the dentists can't tell me what to do. But now, we've talked about the bad side of it so much that I feel like it's the... like, last time we talked about breakfast in bed and how it seems like a good idea, but you don't enjoy it when you have it. Coke's kind of the opposite of that. It's like... It's a terrible idea in every way, but I still have it. And
this podcast brought to you by Coke. It's a terrible idea in every way.
There's a new slogan for you.
You can have that one for free, Coca-Cola.
We don't get sued for this. I've been slightly worried about the whole concept of this podcast and the getting sued aspect.
It's fine. It's fine.
Anyway, so I think after that conversation, I would probably put having good teeth above Coke.
I think that's a healthy decision.
It seems like you're not on board, James.
I'm not sure, really. I think it's... I mean, good teeth isn't particularly extreme. It's not like you're prioritising having absolutely pristine teeth or ever doing anything fun.
Well, you're questioning the whole...
And also...
dichotomy.
And also Coca-Cola is very specific. If it was all fizzy drinks, I might have a different opinion. But I don't actually drink that much Coke. I drink a lot of Iron Brew and quite a bit of Lucozade.
Oh, that's Coca-Cola fine. There's no problem there.
Well, there's a few problems there. But
hey, you're being patriotic when it comes to Iron Brew. So. It's fine.
Yes.
You're doing your national duty.
Yeah.
I have to bring Iron Brew at some
Well, I'm
point.
being
Yeah.
sporty when it comes
Scottish.
to Lucozade. It's practically a health tonic.
That's
really,
true.
so-
It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
I really loved Lucozade. Oh, going off tangent, but I really loved Lucozade at one point. But I loved it so much, I made myself sick of it. So
Oh, that can happen.
double-edged
Yeah, I've done
sword
that
there.
before as well.
Anyway, so we need to actually place these in the
Oh,
list as
wow.
well
Okay.
as doing that. So Coca-Cola.
Below healthy teeth.
Well, yeah,
Good
but
teeth.
like, okay, we
So
want to
good
put
teeth.
good teeth first.
Yeah.
It's not a huge
In itself,
priority.
there's not really a
They just
negative
need to be
side
okay.
to it, though.
Yeah, there's not a negative side.
No, good teeth.
And until you start taking into account the cutting back fizzy drinks.
I mean,
and
it's
stuff.
not inspiring having good teeth. It's not gonna make you
No.
go, yeah, having good teeth, that's awesome.
But if you don't have good
If you
teeth,
don't have it, you're
it's-
in trouble.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fun not having good teeth.
You wouldn't want to remove having good teeth from the world.
Yeah.
So
No.
we should put it probably quite high up. I
Yeah.
guess.
I say between Switzerland and porridge, maybe higher. Don't know.
Maybe.
Could do.
What do you think, James? You seem
Any pick
That's
less
a-
into.
No,
Yes.
I would go along with that. I think overall it's probably a good thing to have. I mean,
Definitely.
I'm just-
Yeah. Between. Yeah, I was kind of leaning somewhere around there, maybe.
Mhm.
okay, it can go there. I'm fine with that.
Maybe under Switzerland, above porridge.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a very slim margin around Switzerland. I think good teeth in Switzerland are around the same sort of area, I guess.
Okay.
Yep. And Coca-Cola needs to go further down.
Yeah.
So
I mean, here's now Coca-Cola. I mean, as good as the drink of Coca-Cola is to a certain extent, it's also you're also going to factor in the company as well, and they have a checkered past to say the least.
yeah,
So.
that's true. But it's so delicious.
Health side of things.
They're getting close to Nestle in terms of not good stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I think they're not as good as Cocoa Pops. I definitely would say that. And no, wait, maybe they're.
I mean, I like it as a substance to put in my mouth more than Cocoa Pops, but with when you factor in the
Okay.
health stuff,
Yeah.
the company and everything, it probably goes below.
I would say
Cocoa
below
Pops.
Cocoa Pops.
Yeah.
But above breakfast in bed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there we
Fair
go.
There we go.
There we go.
Well, that was head to head.
That was tough.
That was a tough one,
Yeah.
actually. I didn't expect this sort of controversy. I didn't even know where I stood on that one until the end. But anyway, let's move on from that exciting grudge match onto the thing about that. So, today's the thing about that is about awkward situations. Ooh. This is something that I could make a whole podcast about, probably.
Me too.
But we're going to start with the three that we brought today,
Okay.
and then maybe we'll bring more in future.
I'm happy to do mine first. if
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
It's saying goodbye on the phone.
Oh, yes, saying goodbye on the phone.
I think it's quite a sort of universal thing to say. So maybe it's not, but I feel like it is. I'm sure I've had conversations with people before, but like saying goodbye, like after a conversation, like phone calls, great at the start, like hello, how's it going? How are you? Very good. How are you? All straightforward. Everyone knows the social rules there, kind of thing. But like when you're sort of like winding down your phone conversation, it's like kind of okay, bye. just like you're never quite sure like who's to instigate it. I mean, sometimes you can sort of throw a few like social cues by saying like, yeah, oh that's great, yeah, no, that sounds all very good. So aye, and just like that sort of starts to wind down. But if people start to like not pick up on it or that, it just like especially if, like today I was on a conversation with someone about like a job and that, and I had to go like literally from that into like a meeting sort of thing. So I kind of like wanted to have like the good conversation, but you also want to like you've got the information now, you want to sort of like okay, now time to stop talking to a person on this phone sort of thing and get talking to someone in real life kind of thing. So
I know what you mean about this.
very
I find it awkward, and I find phone calls awkward full stop.
too.
I had a unexpected business phone call earlier today, and I felt like I was still recovering from it for half the afternoon. I don't know, I find phone calls in general the most awkward form of communication, like worse than something like email or text, but also worse than talking in person. I feel like I'm forever talking over the other person on the phone, and they're talking over me.
yeah,
You don't get the cues.
Yeah, we're probably straying from the point.
When,
but
I think to be honest, phone calls can be quite socially awkward. You
I
need
think-
to have a quite mastery of it kind of thing.
I think with the saying goodbye thing in particular, thinking about it, some of the friends I used to talk to for a long time on the phone, it was like they each had their own way of sort of gradually moving the conversation towards a goodbye, like some phrase they would throw into it, like, One of them, it was always, I might have to go in a minute, and then they talk a bit more, and then she would sort of wind it down further.
Well, that's a
and
minute
then
up.
another one was, oh well, I suppose I should toddle off. She would always say at some point.
Oh.
It was like,
That's
yeah.
good.
Yeah, Gavin. Maybe we'll meet Gavin someday, listener.
Oh.
Gavin and I talk on like Skype and stuff quite a lot, and we used to talk on the phone quite a lot. He's the one who does most of the talking. I don't think he'll mind me saying that. I'm just quite a quiet person when I'm not hosting a podcast. This is my outlet to get all of my conversation out in one go. But he will like punctuate the last like half hour of our conversation will be punctuated with him like saying he's probably gonna have to go soon, and then just we start talking about something else for like 10 minutes, and then another one of those. So we just, it's like almost like pips on a like phone when it tells you when you're running out of credit or something. But it does it like way in advance.
Yeah. Thinking about it more, I realised that I was never the one. I was thinking, what was my saying for winding down a conversation? I was like, I don't think I ever actually did. I think I always left it to the other person. There was times I would be on the phone for literally hours in the past, and I would be completely exhausted and really needed to get to bed, and I just did not know how to bring it
Me
round
too.
to
I don't think I ever did that.
the end
Right.
of the conversation.
I didn't realise that until you said that. I'm terrible at like ending things, because I think my instinct from my like childhood of not really having friends is like just when someone is offering to talk to me, I'm just so grateful for the opportunity that I just like never would dream of like saying I have to go now.
I
Just,
know what
like,
you mean.
soak up the social acceptance like it's nectar of the gods.
Good phrase for it. Yeah.
Anyway, that got a bit more personal than I intended.
No, it's fine. I think my one is like I usually just say something like, "Oh, well, that's all great," or something like just like sort of try to like cover the whole conversation. Is like this whole phone call has been fantastic.
I think if I do it now, my one is probably, I should. I've got a bit better at it. I just play, I should probably let you go. I should probably let you get on. Like,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
it makes it sound like
I'm,
it makes it
I'm
sound
the
like
one-
you're doing them a favour
Yeah.
by ending the conversation rather than
Yeah.
like being rude.
I will say my mum's quite funny for her because she does it with everyone. She doesn't even realise that she does it. She's got a habit where she'll actually like she'll say goodbye, and then when you say goodbye, she hangs up halfway through your goodbye. Like it's very strange because like you sort of like because I'm sure she doesn't even notice it, which is when she's been on the phone to my dad in front of me, she's like said, "Okay, goodbye now," and he's sort of saying goodbye just as she presses the hang up button, and she sort of kind of she wants to hear the goodbye, but she also is like finishing it up. It's very odd, but it's hilarious a little bit, and you hear yourself like saying goodbye and then hearing her hang the phone halfway through your goodbye. I don't know, it's charming in a sense.
Okay, so it's pretty awkward, but it's also kind of funny. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, I don't know where this should go because these situations are generally going to be near the
I
bottom.
think they're all
think,
good, but
because
a lot of stuff
none of
has
them
been,
are
has
good.
been more towards the top up until now, though. So
Yeah.
I think
a lot of the stuff on the list is good.
it's good
Yeah.
to balance it out.
Yeah,
a
we
bit.
need
Yeah.
to balance this out with some.
So I don't
bad
think
stuff.
this one I don't think is as bad as Pia's More.
No.
No.
Let's
It's
not
like-
be crazy here.
No.
But
I
is it
think-
worse than breakfast in bed?
I would rather have breakfast in bed than a awkward
Yeah.
goodbye on a
I
phone.
mean,
think
breakfast,
so.
there's upsides to breakfast.
Yeah.
in bed. There's not
Yeah.
really upsides to this unless it's like talking about it with someone else, like we
No.
are now, like getting it all out.
No,
Apart
that's
from
true.
that, it's just awkward. So
Yep.
I would say put it
Yep,
below breakfast in
I
bed.
would agree.
Okay,
Okay.
who's up next? Do you want to go next?
I
or
can
shall
go next, yeah. My awkward situation is when you're waiting at a bus stop, but you're not at the front of the queue, and you see your bus coming along, and you don't know whether the person in front of you is going to get that bus or not. And you kind of look to them for some sort of cue. Like, if I'm at the front of the queue, I try and give them a cue either by like standing outright almost in the road so they can tell I'm waiting to stop the bus, or by just flattening myself against the wall of the bus shelter as best I can as their cue to like walk past me. But a lot of people don't, and then you're left with the dilemma. I was like, oh god, do I like stand here and wait and see if they move and risk missing the bus if no one
Yeah.
puts their hand out, or do I like walk round them and risk, rudely barging
Yeah.
in front if they were just taking a little while longer to get ready, or do I actually talk to them, which I suppose is what a normal person would try and do. But
It's not
if
really
you find that, like, I mean, there can be problems with that. Like, if they're listening to their headphones or you're listening to your headphones, which is kind of a common thing these days, it can be difficult to even, like, get their attention or whatever.
Yeah.
And, can interrupt what you're listening to. So yeah, I just think it's a slightly awkward situation with the twin risks having to be balanced of risking missing your bus or risking appearing really rude to the person in front of you.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is something that I hadn't necessarily consciously, like, I mean, I've consciously thought about it when it's happening, but I don't necessarily store that information. But when you mentioned it, I was like, yes, that happens to me almost every time I get a bus.
Yeah,
and
me too.
It is really annoying. Like, it just happens so frequently. It wouldn't be a big deal if it was once in a while, but like, it's so common.
Yeah.
And I don't have a great solution for dealing with it.
No, I think it's one of these things where there isn't really a perfect solution. There isn't really a solution that would work in every case.
It's more like the person who's at the front needs to be more aware of being in front and have a more kind of like turn around when a bus is coming, just like nod to the person who's like, sort of, on you go, I'm not wanting this one.
It'd be funny, kind of a conga line of nods just all the way down the bus.
Yeah. Could have, if I was like Victorian times, they'd all like tip their hat or something like that. Like, no, you go first.
Oh, I'd love to see that.
Because I used to go to Glasgow, and the bus to Glasgow would take a while to get on the bus stop I'd take, and other buses would come more frequently. I'd end up at the front of the queue a lot of the time, and I'd kind of like try and sort of put myself like lean against the bus shelter, like make myself in such sort of casual kind of like, I'm definitely not getting this bus kind of body language that someone would have to know that this is
you have to kind of it's like
it's lie on the street almost. Is that
one
kind
of those
thing.
Little sort of plays that you have to enact for other people's benefit in public, but you can't like make it look like you haven't seen the bus. Like to me, like I think what I do, make it clear that I've seen the bus, but then like look as uninterested in it as possible, just like being on my phone, like bus.
I know what you mean. That's a key component actually, because if you don't make it clear that you've seen the bus, you could easily think, oh, he might be wanting that bus, it just hasn't seen it.
You don't want to look like you're just not aware of what's going on around you.
No, exactly. That just increases the awkwardness.
Anyway, God, there's so many little wrinkles to this situation. It's a very good one.
And the thing is, at the end of it all, like, if the worst case scenario happens and you miss your bus, it's really annoying.
Yeah. I mean, that's the...
It's the most kind of... It's infuriating a little bit.
Because it seems like such a stupid reason for missing it. It's not like you didn't make it to the bus stop or anything like that.
It's the sort of thing where if you're meeting someone and you're going to be late because of that, you have to think up another excuse. You can't go with that one. Unless you know the person quite well and they know how weird you are. Like, you're... Like, that's the sort of thing that happens to you. Yeah, anyway.
I've kind of done it in the past where I've, like, not been in the bus queue, where I've actually just been outside of the bus station thing, and, like, waved the bus myself, but, like, accepted that everyone else in the queue that wants to get on that bus can go before me, kind of thing.
That's reasonable.
I've done that too. I feel like that's acceptable in certain situations. If it's really busy and there's, like, a massive queue, or if there's already people hanging around outside the shelter. I mean, I would never hang around outside the shelter to try and get on before the people in the shelter, but I think hanging around there to make sure you don't miss the bus seems reasonable.
Yeah, well, okay, so where are we thinking this should go?
Again, low.
Low.
I would say low.
Is it worse than saying goodbye on the phone or better?
I don't know. I think I find this one worse because the stakes don't tend to be as high on the phone call situation. You're not going to miss your bus, whatever happens on the...
Yes.
Unless you really need to get out of the house and you can't bring yourself to say goodbye on the phone and then you miss the bus.
It'd have to be a particularly serious conversation that you have to bugger up for it to be worse than the bus.
Yeah,
I think so.
I
would say this is worse than the phone thing.
So I'm putting it below saying goodbye.
That sounds good.
Cool. So that just leaves my awkward situation.
Yes.
My one is probably not as bad as those, I think, because there's an upside to it, which is you feel like you're having a little adventure.
Yes.
It's when a dog follows you and it's not your dog. And this doesn't happen as often as the two other situations, I don't think, but it happens to me a fair bit, like occasionally, because I go for a lot of walks in a place where a lot of dog walkers are, and occasionally there'll just be a random dog that seems to have misplaced its owner, and it just like attaches itself to you, not literally, but
Unless you're particularly unlucky, like what happened to me once. But
oh dear. But yeah, you just like, and it sort of starts following you along. You don't know whether to, and you know what is the thing to do in that situation. There's a downside to everything. Do you just carry on as if nothing's happening? In which case, it might be following you way away from its owner. Do you stay where you are and hope its owner finds you, or do you go back the way it came from to try and find the owner so that it doesn't stray too far? I still don't have a good answer for that.
Yeah, that's slightly awkward.
Yeah.
I've actually had it happen to me more often with cats. I don't know whether I think I'm like the cat whisperer or something.
Yeah.
I just get, everywhere I go I seem to find cats, and sometimes they will latch on and follow me. And that can be awkward because I'm like, I don't know how far you're going to follow me. I don't know if you follow me a little way, that's maybe alright, but don't follow me so far that you don't know how to get home.
Yeah.
I'd feel really...
Yeah.
And sometimes you don't know whether it's actually a stray cat that needs help if it follows you and squeaks. But then at the same time, we've had cats that did that to people when they were perfectly...
That's true.
When they had a home, they weren't a stray.
You mean
or anything,
dogs
so.
tend not to be... I mean, you don't tend to get many stray dogs
No.
where we are.
No.
So I usually assume, well, that is obviously someone's dog that they're walking.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like dog walking businesses that walk loads of dogs, and they probably don't even notice if they lose one.
Yeah.
Like, also, I don't think this has ever actually happened, but I have a fantasy scenario, and it's not a good fantasy.
Oh.
It's a bad fantasy where the dog like poos on the path and someone else sees it, and I'm walking near the dog and they think it's my dog. It's one of do you ever like just invent a scenario just to annoy yourself? Like imagine how annoying it would be, and you actually start getting annoyed about it even though it hasn't happened.
Oh, I get that quite often, yeah.
I do that all the time, like just imagining that and then just having my like response of it, not my dog, just because I'm walking near it.
Yeah.
That's never actually happened. That's just another layer of like concern that happens. But mainly it's the what do you do? Do you try and find its owner to return it? And I don't think I've ever had it where the dog just stays with me for the rest of the day or follows me home or anything. I think they usually know where their owner is, really.
Yeah, I
Okay,
think this
I'm just being curious.
this one doesn't seem as bad as the others to me because it's like it's almost like you're more just a passive person in this scenario.
Yeah.
It's like in a sense it's not really your responsibility. I mean, you wouldn't want anything. You wouldn't want the dog to end up lost or whatever, but at the same time, it's not really in your control in a sense because, like you said, whatever you do, it might not be the right thing to do.
Yeah, but you know, you feel like it sort of becomes your responsibility a bit. Like, and in the same way that if it was a child you found, like...
Yeah.
If it was like a child, more so, I'd think.
They don't know where their parents were.
I've got more faith in the dog than the child, in a sense, to figure out where its owners are and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I think,
when it happens with a child, I usually just walk past because I don't know what to do.
With the child, I think I would call the police. Maybe
Or
that's
have a
over the
little
top,
right.
but I think I would feel it was more of a proportionate thing to do. Whereas, if you're walking in the woods where a lot of people walk their dogs and there's a dog following you, it's probably a bit over the top to call the police about that.
Yeah.
Whereas if it was a lost child, I would feel like, oh, I don't know what to do about this, but I better like...
Okay, well, I think this goes above the other two.
I would say
Yeah,
so.
I would find that show, because that's never happened to me, the dogs thing, before. I'd find it, I guess, a novelty and like the joy of like a dog
it's
paying
like,
attention
it's a little
to
bit
you.
charming. It's like you made a new friend.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Yeah.
So I guess it's actually not that bad.
Yeah. I put it above Coca-Cola.
Really, above Coca-Cola?
That's me.
Oh, yeah, I'd probably put it below Coca-Cola.
Fair enough.
But above breakfast in bed.
I don't know. Breakfast. I'd probably put it below breakfast in bed, actually. But
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah, I would put it above the two other socially awkward things personally.
it's not great. I mean, it's
No, exactly.
like-
It's still kind of an awkward
Yeah.
situation.
It's not happened to me, I don't know, so I wouldn't... Like, yeah, I'll go with the majority here.
Okay, so under breakfast in bed, but above saying goodbye on the phone.
Yeah.
And there we have it. That's all our things for today. But we have time for a little extra bonus round that I'm introducing in episode 2.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't really make sense in episode 1. It's called Nudges and Grudges.
Ah.
Basically, what it is each of us gets a point, and we can choose to use that point to nudge one of these to move it up a place, or we can have a grudge against one of them and move it down a place.
Alright.
So each of us gets the chance to do that if we desire. We don't have to.
Does this carry on to future episodes?
Yes, it will. That will be the order after we all done that.
Sorry, I meant our points.
Oh,
we
no,
have
no.
1 point
No,
a
sorry.
episode?
No,
or?
you can't stockpile points. I'm
Okay.
afraid.
Okay.
You don't have to do it. If you're happy with the order as it is, you can leave it, but this is just a little way of making it a bit more democratic. So if you feel like you were...
Our future guest would like to potentially...
I don't know why I said shafted. It's a bit of a weirdly sexual way of putting that. But, if you feel like you disagreed with one of the choices that we made, that's a better way of putting it, then you can move. You can make a little tweak.
Can we grudge Piers Morgan down further?
I don't think we can, sorry.
Can we just put him down below Piers Morgan? Fair enough.
I think I'm reasonably happy with the order. There hasn't been any decisions I was horrendously annoyed about. So I don't know.
Potentially think of nudging Nessie up.
Nudging Nessie up above the third Harry Potter book.
Yeah.
Do you want to nudge Nessie?
I don't know. I think I probably want my nudge to be a proper thing I'd want to sort of
Okay.
do. So I feel it'd be so switched
when we have more on here.
There's
I
nothing
think
I
it'll
feel
be more.
strongly enough
Yeah.
about.
There'll be more contentious stuff
Yeah.
later on, I think.
Exactly.
I think so.
We've been fairly in agreement on a lot of this
Yeah,
stuff,
I
more
think
than I
so.
expected.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so neither of you are going to use your nudge or your grudge.
I don't think so. Are you going to
I
use
think
yours?
you know what?
Do it, Alex.
I'm going to use my nudge.
Do it.
Yeah.
Ewan's not going to like it, but I'm going to nudge Coca-Cola above Cocoa Pops.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I know they're bad company, but I love the taste of it so much. And we went to that Coca-Cola experience in Atlanta, and it was amazing. It brainwashed us.
We enjoyed our Cokes.
Oh, we enjoyed our Cokes.
Do you know what? I'm fine with that.
Okay, awesome. So now we have a new order of things. That's the name of the final section where we read out the order of things, starting from the top, going down to the bottom. We're going to take it in turns. Who wants to begin?
The first is the city of Berlin.
Woo! That's the best thing in the world still. Good job, James. That was the first thing that we actually mentioned on this podcast at all. Second is 1984 by George Orwell.
Third is the compass.
Fourth is Switzerland.
Then it's having good teeth.
Next is porridge.
And then the third Harry Potter book, The Prisoner of Azkaban.
Then Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster.
Then Coca-Cola.
And then Cocoa Pops.
And then it's breakfast in bed.
And next is being followed by a dog that isn't your dog.
And then it's saying goodbye on the phone.
Next up, second from last, is James's bus stop situation where you don't know if the person in front of you is getting on the bus or not.
And finally, in the last place still, it's Piers Morgan.
Yay! So that's another ridiculous episode of Everything versus Everything. We hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back fairly soon, I would hope. And I think, what more can we say? I think we're gonna have to leave it to Ewan to say goodbye. Just think of it the phone call that you're bringing to an end.
So, this has been great. Bye. 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 Bye.
Today's Everything vs. Everything featured Ewan Gilmore, James Perry, and me, Alex Perry, who also did other stuff. The Everything vs. Everything logo was created by Andy Keith. Visit us at everythingbeeverything.wordpress.com and subscribe to our RSS feed for more episodes coming soon. Thank you for listening.